I could finish peeing, I just said,
let me introduce you.
Hey. Oh, hi, it's your first time here. My name is Adenike or Olori Esho. On this channel, I create content that relates to love, marriage, lifestyle, relationships, dating, motherhood, good stuff. So if you're interested in any of those things, please subscribe to the channel, thumbs up this video, check out my other videos, and let me know down below in the comment section that you are a new subscriber. All right? Thank you. Okay, it's been a while. We gisted, where I just sat down and I told you a story. So I remembered this incident that happened to me a few years ago. That's a lie. It's not been a few years. It's been like 7 years now ago, 2009. Precisely. That was the year it happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I've written about it somewhere before on an old blog that I used to have called The Prodigal Daughter. Wow. You don't say, where we did say. Anyway, so I remember this story and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to share with you guys. It's not even a long story like that, but grab that popcorn, sit down, let me gist you about how. Now, this was a private, embarrassing moment for myself, personal. It wasn't in public, it happened in private, but I was embarrassed that it happened to me. Okay, so let me tell you what happened. So in the year 2009, it was a great year. It was the year I finished my NYSC. Yes, I graduated from university in 2008 and then did my NYSC 2008-2009. And then after I finished my NYSC, which I did in Ibadan, by the way, after I finished my NYSC, I decided that I was going to just stay back and work a bit. So I didn't get a job in Ibadan. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go back home to Akure, which was where my parents were. So I went back home to Akure. I was living with my parents. I was, trying to help my sister manage a restaurant that she had at the time. I was keeping busy, doing good stuff. But as a great Lord would have it, it was just like 3 or 4 months after NYC when my immigrant visa to the US came through. And it was just like, yes, Moti Jakpa. I don't port. He's out. Because it wasn't like I had a job or anything. I'm just the main cocoa of the embarrassing story is not long. I'm just gisting you because I need to give you background knowledge. Okay, so the gist can be sweeter. Okay. So the visa came through and everything just started happening back to back, It wasn't like I was doing anything anyway. I was like, perfect timing, peace out. So I immigrated to the US, right? Awesome. So we got to the US and it was not a matter of settling down. Now, what am I going to do? I've always wanted to go back to school, maybe do my master's, and then I realized I could study law in the US using my graduate degree from Nigeria, or my undergraduate degree from Nigeria. So for those who don't know, in the US, studying law as a degree is a graduate course, okay? So you don't go to undergrad to study law. You can do pre-law just like you can do pre-med. You can do like criminal, whatever. You can do your background. You can even study mass comm. You can even do chemistry. But you have to go to undergrad for 4 years to study whatever you want to study before you now take the law school admission test, LSAT, to get into a law school, right? Where you now study law for another 3 years, making 7 years, and then you now take the bar in whatever state you want to practice, right? Typically, when you study for the bar, it takes about 4 months after graduation from law school before you take the bar and all of that. So anyway, I said all of that to say I decided that, okay, I was going to go to law school because studying and practicing law was something I always wanted to do. It was something I was quite passionate about. So I decided I was going to go to law school here in the US. So in order to get into law school, like I mentioned, you have to take the law school admission test, which you had to study for. And keep in mind, I just came from Nigeria, okay? and fresh off the boat in the US, in the America. So I didn't know a lot of things, you know, sadly. I wasn't, as at that time, even though I was educated, I wasn't as exposed, and I wasn't as, now I'm a baby girl. Then I was still a baby girl in transit. Something like that. So I didn't know a lot of things, you know. So especially a lot about the American educational system, you know, the law, the politics. These were things I had to start learning, and then I had to start studying for the law school admission test. And so in order to study, instead of sitting at home and just studying, because I wanted to see the sites, this was just about a month or 2 months into being in the US. Because I wanted to see the sights and sounds of America and everything. I figured, I would always go to a library to study, you know, so at least get out of the house, to drive to the library, you know, see where I'm living now, come back home and just live the baby girl life. So on the very first day, that I went to the library, now my dad was pretty trusting, like he went to school. So you can find your way around, don't get lost, you have a phone, use your Google Maps, drive well, don't get pulled over by the cops, see you later. Do you get? So I was just pretty much like left to figure it out by myself. So on the very first day, I decided to go to the library. I went to this library, I packed some snacks that I could eat while I was studying and everything, and water and all of that. So, you know, I was studying, I was eating, I was drinking, I was just nibbling on things and all of that. Then came the time that I needed to relieve myself. Okay. So I was like, naturally, in order to do that, you go into where? The bathroom, right? Here they call it the bathroom. You know, in Nigeria, we call it toilet. So you use the whole of our mouth to call it. I'm joking. But anyway, you go into the ladies, whatever you want to call it. So I went into the bathroom, the toilet. So I went into the toilet. I peed. But because I'd been ingesting a lot of liquid, it was a very long pee. And then, before I could finish peeing, I just said, it was the sound of the toilet flushing itself. You should have seen the way Adenike jumped. It was a high jump. I was laughing so hard, and I was still peeing. Oh my God. Okay. You should have seen how I uprooted. What was happening? You know, is there an earthquake? Is there a tornado? What? Is this how they're doing them? I was in shock for like a minute. I just stood. I was looking at the toilet. What just happened? Where did my pee go? Why is the toilet making noise? I was just the only, I was the only one in the cubicle, my cubicle of the toilet. So it wasn't like I could ask anyone. And I was like, I didn't get it. I did not get it. I did not get what just happened. And I was still doing Ayami Padawagbo. I was touching the, that's the way you do it, like, just calm down, baby, just calm down, it's okay. So anyway, eventually I finished peeing, cleaned up everything, and then let us flush. I am married to Jesus, and leave me alone. Where is it? The flushing thing. There's no flushing thing. How am I supposed to flush? I didn't get it. I I looked. There was nothing to press. I pressed all the unpressables and it wasn't flushing. No, and it wasn't because the main pee had already flushed. It wasn't that dirty. It was just like the wet tissue and everything. And after a while, I was just like, whoa, peace out. Peace what? I just went out to wash my hands, of course, and went back to my seat. But I still couldn't wrap my head around what had just happened. And because, I was new there, Oyibo faces around me and everything, I couldn't just walk up to a random person before they start thinking, are you okay? Do you get... So I just managed to get through my studying period and whatever. And when I started feeling pressed again, I was like, no, I'm going home. I was like, no, I'm going home. Do you get... So when I got home, I now told my dad, well, not in the way I'm telling you, Sha. I started hinted at my dad, like, I didn't really tell him that this was what happened. I was just kind of hinting at it, like, oh, what is this? Kind of like as if I was curious, not that it happened to me. So I asked my dad, I was like, oh, this and this and this and this and this, and the toilet flushed itself, and I couldn't flush after, like, so what's that? And then he was explaining to me that apparently there are toilets that use sensors. Okay, so the moment you move off of it a bit, it assumes that you're done and it just flushes itself. Wow, sensor using toilets in America. The Akure girl in me did not know. Anyway, I felt so embarrassed and at myself really that I didn't know. But of course, how could I have known? I'd never used one before. And it just goes to show that education isn't really everything. I mean, I was educated, I was a BSc holder at this point, but I still had never experienced anything like that before. When I do think back on that incident, I realized how important it is for one to be exposed and for one to understand that education and being in the classroom isn't everything. Sometimes you need to step out so that you can have a well-rounded perspective at life, okay? Hey, deepest. Oh my gosh, see how my story turned into a lecture. I know you people have embarrassing stories too. You must share, okay? Remember, on this channel, we go back and forth. So tell me yours down below in the comment section. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe right now. Thumbs up this video. Remember to do that right now. And I cannot wait to see you again very, very soon. I pray God blesses you, your home, your marriages, your relationships. Most importantly, I pray God blesses you. Remain in God and God bless you. Mwah. Bye.